What's going on, Slay Baes? It's Ashley and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be bringing to you another dupes video. In fact, I'm actually wearing two completely different eyeshadow palettes on my eyeballs, and if that doesn't speak volumes, I really don't know what does. In fact, pause the video, let me know which side you guys think is cheap and which side you think is high end. Anyways, I do want to share with you guys a brand new palette by Alter Ego, which is called their Goddess palette. I have talked about Alter Ego in the past. I use their Temptress palette, which is a spot on dupe for the ABH Sultry palette, but today we have a brand new palette called the Goddess palette, which is, can you guys tell me, this is a spot on dupe for the NATASHA DENONA Gold palette. It retails for $16. You get 15 eyeshadows and you get a mirror, which is definitely a plus. I do want to show you guys the NATASHA DENONA palette, which I know I said I would never purchase a full-size NATASHA DENONA palette, but I picked this up for you guys. It retails for $129. And yes, this palette burned holes in my pockets, like actual holes. I'm still trying to recover, but this is what the palette looks like. As you guys can see, the color story is literally the exact same. So we're gonna put these babies to the test. I have them on my eyes right now. You guys be the judge. Which side do you guys think is cheap? Which side is high end? And while you're guessing, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like the video, click that bell. You guys already know. So with that, let's go ahead and get right into the video. So I zoomed you in just so that way you can get a clear view of the overall pigmentation and blendability of both eyeshadow palettes. I'm going to start off with primer. I'm going to use this one by MAC, which is a dry base primer. This is the Soft Ochre Paint Pot, and I'm going to put this on both eyes just because I really want to see how long each side lasts throughout the day, and I will update you guys at the end, of course. The brush I'm using is an IT Cosmetics brush. It's just a flat, fluffy brush that's just going to allow me to lay the eyeshadow base nice and even. By the way, you guys, thank you for all the love you guys showed on my Chit Chat Get Ready With Me video. You guys are commenting a lot more. You guys are just engaged, and honestly, that just means the absolute world to me. So thank you guys so much. I definitely want to film more videos just like that on my channel, so stay tuned. So now that my eyes are nice and primed, I'm going to go in with a little bit of powder in my crease. I'm going to use this one by Marc Jacobs. This is their new Accomplice powder. I was actually like stalking my Sephora until they got it in store. I didn't really want to buy it online because I saw a lot of reviews that this powder was a lot darker in person, so I wanted to see the colors and then pick it up. Again, this is a face powder, but there's not a bone colored shadow in either one of the palettes I'm going to be showing today, and I really want a soft shadow in my crease to act as a base shadow before I go in with my transitional color. For the left side, I will be using the Alter Ego Goddess palette. As you can see, it is so beautiful. It's paperboard packaging, but the packaging kind of feels like a soft grip material, kind of like the NARS one, but again, it is paperboard packaging, so it's not as hard and sturdy as NARS packaging. You also get a mirror right here, and these are all of the eyeshadows. I did dip into the palette. I played around with it a little bit, and let me just say I was blown away by the overall pigmentation of these eyeshadows. I am going to play around with the blendability, see how they blend, how they last throughout the day, and definitely update you guys at the very end. But amazing color story. Like, I am in it. Like, so excited. The first shade I'm going to take from the Goddess palette is called Iris, and I'm going to put it in my crease with an M441 by Morphe. On the right side, I will be using the high-end palette, the NATASHA DENONA Gold palette. And let me just say, never in a million years did I think I was going to actually go into Sephora and purchase a NATASHA DENONA palette, but I did it for you guys. The dupeable shade within this palette, I want to say it's called Sandstone. This one right here, not entirely sure because there are a lot of brown, like neutral shades within the palette, so it was very hard for me to distinguish which was which, but that's what I think it is. So I'm going to go in with an M441 and do the same exact thing. Just dust this right here into my crease. And ooh, that is very pigmented. Honestly, I have high hopes for the NATASHA side because I have like the little mini nude palette, and honestly, I really like it. A lot of people were saying that the quality isn't the same as the full-size palettes, so I'm interested in seeing if this one is better than that little mini palette. Ooh, this is like a lot more pigmented, or maybe I'm just applying a lot more pressure. I'm gonna go in with more of like a fluffy brush and just kind of buff and blend it out without applying any me more pigment to the crease. I kind of like palettes that aren't as pigmented upon first application because I feel like they're very, very user-friendly in a sense that you can kind of go in with a little bit of product and then build it up to your desired intensity, as opposed to going in with a shadow that's like super pigmented. You have to be careful because if you apply too much, it can be a little bit harder to blend out. So far, so good. I think both sides look really, really beautiful. I'm gonna stick to the high-end side right now. I'm gonna pick up this kind of like mustard brown color, kind of like a pukey brown actually. This one is called Dijon. I'm gonna take an M507 and I'm going to press this in the outer V area, kind of like the outer V crease area. One thing I will say, this little thing is like distracting, especially because I'm filming a video and my hand keeps hitting it, so I apologize if that's like a little annoying. I can't help it, it's like literally stuck. You can actually take it off, but do I want to take it off? No, because then I'll probably lose it and it will be gone. I'm going to take an M441 and just kind of buff and diffuse out that color right there. So the dupable shade in the Goddess palette is this one right here called Athena. Again, that pukey brown. I'm going to use a clean M507 and start stamping it right here on the outer V. And then kind of buffing it inwards. I definitely feel like opposed to this side, this one looks more like a true mustard brown, but we'll see how it buffs and blends into this outer V area. So I'm not even gonna lie, I kind of like how the Goddess side is blending a lot better than the NATASHA Denona side. I just really love like that yellow kind of pukey brown color on this eye as opposed to this side. This side definitely turned a little bit more brown as opposed to this side. It pulls like a little bit more yellow and I'm definitely feeling that. Let me know which side you guys like better so far and leave a timestamp down below. I'm gonna cut my crease. Again, cutting your crease is completely optional. It's just something I like to do when I want cleaner, crisper edges. I'm gonna use a little bit of my NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer. Again, holy grail. You guys can see I'm getting down to the very bottom here, and you guys have seen me cut my crease a million times, so cue the music. I definitely cut my crease a little bit higher than usual, but it's all right, it's okay. We'll get through it, all right? So I'm gonna go in with this shade right here, which is a really pretty blue shade. It really just stands out to me from within the palette, and I'm gonna use a M124, and I'm just gonna pack this right here onto the lid, literally all over the lid. And the reason I'm going in with this matte shade as opposed to a shimmer is that I really want this to be the underlying like base color that kind of peeks through the shimmer that I'm gonna dab on top. Again, this is the affordable side and I'm just like, I'm really impressed. Then with an ABH A13, I'm going to just pack it all over my eyelid. So I did get a little bit of fallout right here, nothing too crazy though. I'm now gonna move on to the dupable shade from the NATASHA Denona palette, and it is this one right here called Python. It is such a beautiful shade. Again, very similar to the one from the Goddess palette, and I'm gonna take it on a clean M124 and just pop it all over my eyelid. For the most part, I feel like both sides are very, very similar. Like the NATASHA Denona side, I got absolutely no fallout, whereas the Goddess side, I got a little bit of fallout. I'm gonna go right back into the Goddess palette and I'm gonna pick up the shade called Athena, and I'm simply going to continue pressing this right here in the very outer V just to kind of build up this color a little bit more, especially kind of like in the crease area of my outer V. I know this looks a little bit strange because typically you would go in with a lighter shade in the very inner corner and then a darker shade right here towards the very outer V, but I am not done yet. I'm probably gonna drag this blue out right here in this outer V area, but I really wanna make sure that this kind of like pukey yellow brown is brought up a little bit higher in my crease, just so that way it can kind of peek through when I really start to smoke everything out. I'm gonna go into that pukey brown mustard color from the gold palette and I'm gonna do the same exact thing. Like this one's definitely more brown than that of yellow, if I do say so myself. Then with the shade called Python, that blue I have all over my lid, I'm going to take an M507 and I'm going to lightly start buffing this right here in the outer V and connecting it with my lid shade. And I am going in with a very light hand to do this, just because I also don't want to bring this color up too high in the crease. So I'm going to start very, very low and then lightly start buffing it upwards until it meets the top of the lid color. Okay, so do you guys kind of see what I meant when I said I was going to go in with a little bit of shadow and then start blending it upwards, just because I didn't want to completely cover up that brown color in the crease. I feel like it gave it more of like a seamless looking blend. I'm now going to go in with a clean M507 and go into the Goddess palette. I'm going to take that really pretty kind of like greenish blue and do the exact same thing. Then going in with a clean M514, I'm going to kind of buff and blend it right here in the very outer V. Just kind of buffing that line into that brown color. So far so good. I'm gonna go into the shade right here from the Goddess palette. It's called Artemis. It is a really beautiful kind of like tealish bluish green. I'm gonna spritz it with a little bit of the Dewy Set by Anastasia, and I'm gonna pop this all over the lid. Now I'm only taking this color right here in the very inner part of the lid. I'm not gonna drag it all the way out here. I really just want it to sit onto my lid. Then with a little bit more of that blue on my brush, I'm gonna start really buffing out the edges a little bit more. I'm gonna get a little bit heavy-handed with it. Then I'm gonna take a little bit more of Athena and just buff it into that blue. The dupable shade from the gold palette is called Aurora. So I'm going to do the same thing with a clean brush. I am going to spritz my brush with a little bit of the ABH Dewy Set just to give it more of the same effect. And I'm going to pop it all over the very inner part of the lid. Then with an M507, I'm just going to kind of blur out the line right in this area, just so that way it doesn't look so stark and harsh. So far things are looking incredible, but I want to kick it up a notch, and I kind of want to use this shade right here, like this white, and pop it like on the very center of my lid just to add a different effect. So I have it on my finger. I'm going to spritz my finger with a little bit of that Dewy Set, and I'm going to press it right in the center of my lid just to see what effect it gives the overall look. So it's definitely adding some light to my eye, which I like. So I'm going to continue to just kind of pop that on the center just to give it a different effect. So again, this side is the more affordable side, the Goddess palette, and this side is the NATASHA DENONA side. I'm going to take the dupable shade. It is called Sparks, that white right there, and I'm going to again put it on my finger, spray my finger with a little bit of the Dewy Set, and pop it on the center of the lid. So I am finally back. What I did is I just finished my face off camera. If you guys are interested in any of the products like I have on for base makeup, brows, all that stuff, I will have it listed down below for you. I do want to note that I did use this powder by Marc Jacobs on like my whole face, and I'm obsessed with the way it looks on my skin. Like I don't even have highlighter on right now, and I just think it looks so beautiful. It's not like a shimmery powder, but it definitely has some sort of shimmer in it that makes your skin look so insanely like dewy and just like luminous, if you get me. I didn't use the brush that this came with just because I feel like this is a little strange. I just use a big fluffy brush. I will be using this in future videos just so that way you guys can kind of see it in action, but so far so good. I really like it, and it is definitely worth the coin. Let's go ahead and finish off the lower lash line. I'm gonna go in with the Goddess palette, and I'm gonna take Athena, which is that mustard pukey brown yellow, and I'm gonna smoke it out right on my lower lash line to kind of bring that yellow back into the look. With a pencil brush, I'm really just gonna go in and smoke and smudge out this color. Like I really want it to be nice and blown out on my lower lash line. Can I just say I'm very impressed with the Goddess palette. Like I really am. It is like extremely beautiful. From the gold palette, I'm gonna go right back into that mustard shade and do the same exact thing. I'm gonna push it on my lower lash line with a flat definer brush and smudge and smoke it out with a pencil brush. With that same flat definer brush, I'm gonna pick up a little bit of the shade called Python, and I'm gonna push it closest to my lash line to just connect it with the shade on my upper lid, and I just got a bunch of fallout. How do I fix this without getting it everywhere? I'm gonna pick up some loose powder, and I'm just gonna kind of dust it away. I actually put way too much powder on in that moment, but I was like freaking out a little bit, and it's all over my black shirt. Like, way to go, Ash, way to go. Not editing that out because that is real life. Real life. Anyways, before the fallout interrupted me, I'm just kind of pushing this right here. And it wasn't supposed to be that thick, but since we're here, we might as well just roll with it. I'm just gonna kind of buff it and blend it out some. So I'm actually taking a little bit of loose powder and putting it right here on this edge because I kind of got a little bit heavy-handed and I need to clean up. You guys know that feeling? Like, fuck, I put on way too much. And from the Goddess palette, I'm going to pick up that blue-green and again, push it closest to my lash line. Now I'm just going to go in with the ColourPop Cream Gel Eyeliner in the shade Kicker, which is more of a silver. Ooh, look at that. That looks like it's going to be really pigmented. And I'm going to put it right here in my waterline. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put on mascara falsies, and then we'll come back and talk about both palettes and how I truly feel about the formula pigmentation. Also going to wear this for a period of time and show you guys how each side held up throughout the day. So it's been a few hours since I last talked to you. I went ahead and popped on a lip color, Honey Nude. Nude is A. I also did some mascara and lashes. For those of you guys who may be interested, I am wearing the Salon Perfect Extension Seeker lashes in the style 662. These are literally becoming a staple lash for me. The band is super thin, so they're very, very user-friendly and easy to just like pop on, if you get me. Now, let's go ahead and move on to the palettes. I definitely want to let you guys know how these palettes perform throughout the day. Now, as you guys know, the NATASHA DENONA palette, it's to no surprise it didn't smudge, budge, or fade. Like, that's expected for a price point of $129. But what blows my mind is that the Goddess palette that retails for $16 did not smudge, budge, or fade throughout the day. The proof is in the pudding. You guys saw me blend this on my eyelids and it blends seamlessly. It is very much pigmented. Do you have to spend a little bit more time packing on the color? Absolutely. But for $16, I feel like you can't really beat it. If you have been looking for a similar color story to the gold palette, I feel like this is it. I will have it listed down below. I do kind of want to touch on the NATASHA DENONA palette because, as you guys know, this is my first time ever purchasing a full-size NATASHA DENONA palette. I own the mini nude palette, but I don't own the full-size version. I will definitely say the formula is something special. It's very rich, it's creamy, it's buttery, it's pigmented, it's all the way there, but I just can't justify the price point, if you guys get me. So if you guys have been wanting something very similar as far as color story, definitely check out the Goddess palette. I will have it listed down below. Are you getting the same formula? Absolutely not, but are you getting a pretty decent formula for the price point? Yes. So I will have everything listed down below in the event that you guys are interested in checking out either which palette. They're very, very good formulas. I think they're both really nice, but if I can get something cheaper, I'm gonna get something cheaper, if you get me. So thank you guys so much for watching. And if you guys wanna see any other dupe videos, let me know down below in the comments. I will do whatever it is that you want. I love you. Thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, I'll be sure to catch you guys all on the next one. Deuces.